Hey everybody, please excuse I just got out of the shower hair, and I just want to let you know right now this video isn't going to be the most organized that you've ever seen on this channel. My thoughts are probably going to get away from me, because this is just something that, has been bothering me for like 3 or 4 years, and I didn't have a platform to say this on that whole time, but now that I do, I feel like I should. So, The Lion King, right, is coming out in a day. Let me do this real quick. Much better. I record all my videos right next to my window, by the way. You probably knew that. Point is, though, I'm not excited for it. Not at all. I love Jon Favreau, and if this movie's bad, I don't want that to reflect on him as a filmmaker, because I've seen what he can do when he doesn't have a set list of rules to follow, like the first Iron Man movie or Chef. But when he does have to do certain things, you get Iron Man 2 and The Jungle Book. And it's like, well, maybe just let your creators breathe. But the thing is, right, with the Disney live action resurgence, I guess, because for some reason they don't think that they would make more money if they remastered the original films or took them out of the vault and put them all in theaters, like periodically throughout the year, or just let you buy it on Blu-ray, whatever. They're reworking pretty much all their movies in live action. I'm pretty sure they won't go near Pocahontas because they don't want to talk about racism, and they might not do Princess and the Frog because they don't want to tell kids to go out and do voodoo. But that's not the point. I don't mind adaptations, and I don't hate remakes entirely. I'll probably talk more about that topic later. The thing is with the Disney remakes, though, is that they always do something wrong, Like Aladdin, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, they're all classic films. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. They're all perfect the way they are, and they don't need to be revamped or modernized in any way. The stories that are told are timeless, the characters are infinitely charming, they're still super marketable, little girls still wear Snow White slippers, whatever. It's not something that you really need to evolve or change just because it's now the 21st century and CGI exists. With Aladdin, right, everybody was super upset, including me, about how Will Smith looked as the genie, both in his normal Will Smith form and in his blue form, because for some reason it's like his face was a different shade of blue from the rest of him, and it didn't fit. Like, it looked super mapped on and keyed in. But I sidetracked. Point is, I didn't like the way that A Friend Like Me sounded in the new version, and that was pretty much enough to keep me from watching the movie. Surprise, surprise, I don't like to spend money on movies I have no hope for. Even though I do top 10 worst movies of the year, that's because at a certain point I'll either rent. The point is, I told you I was going to get sidetracked. When you take a timeless classic animated movie that was handcrafted with love and passion and concern and care for the arts, and you adapt it into a soulless shell of a movie that's 100% a cash grab, it's obvious, and people will know, and people will reject it. Because the thing about specifically The Lion King is, even though the story is about animals, it's still a very personal story. Simba has to go on a journey of self-discovery, and it's a coming-of-age story. He has to accept his role. He has to learn who he's supposed to be. He has to fight his family. He has to overcome deception and lies. He has to find himself as a king. He has to do a lot in this movie. And it's not exactly the most relatable, because when are we going to get to be king? But the thing that makes it charming is the way that Simba's characterized. Matthew Broderick does a fantastic job voicing the character. He's animated with such life and energy throughout the entire movie, and you can see exactly what he's feeling or thinking. There's moments where he doesn't even speak, but you know exactly how he feels. The transitions in some of the scenes are fantastic, especially Mufasa's death, where he falls and then it fades to black and then it zooms out of the black in Simba's eye as he screams no. That's amazing. That whole long live the king moment is so, oh, it's so great. I mean, sure, I pretty much cry every time I see Mufasa die, but that has nothing to do with anything. But when you go for a live action remake, which is funny to call it live action, it's all still animated, it's CGI. So they spent more money trying to make it look photorealistic, and it doesn't exactly look photorealistic. Like, it's a little uncanny valley, right? Like, it's almost what a real lion would look like if it talked, but there's just one thing about it that's just not quite right, and it sticks out. But it's hard to figure out exactly what it is that's making you uncomfortable, but it's definitely there. And even with, I don't know, what's another good example? I didn't watch Jungle Book. Beauty and the Beast, right? There's a lot of expression in Beast, because sure, he's a big bear monster thing, but he used to be a human, and he emotes and he expresses his feelings and his thoughts, like that part where she's like, I don't want to dine with you. And he's like, then go ahead and starve. In the movie, he's just like, then go ahead and starve. It's like you lose all the charm, right? Because now you just have this blank monster face, or this blank lion face in the case of the Lion King, and it can't emote. It can still say, I can't wait to be king, but it's just like, I guess so. I mean, it's kind of like, you could mute the movie and put Benedict Cumberbatch narrating over it and pass it off as like a National Geographic movie. There's nothing specifically Lion King about what you're seeing. It just looks like a nature documentary, but like with bad CGI. I don't understand. And it's not to say that like you can't make a live action movie with flair or with style. Oh, hold on. As I was saying, it's not impossible to make a live action movie that's got style, flair, personality to it. Kingsman, The Secret Service, and The Golden Circle, honestly. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Kick-Ass, Guardians of the Galaxy. You can still put whatever type of like spin or personal like touch on a live action movie that you want. It just takes, wanting to do that sort of thing. Even Zack Snyder's films are color washed, and that's a Zack Snyder thing. If you see that, then you know you're looking at a Zack Snyder film. But when adapting animation to live action in the Disney house, they don't have nearly the same amount of care or thought for each film. And it's less, oh, let's make sure that this movie is just as expressive and lively and interesting and colorful and magical and mystifying as the original, and more, can we just like tell like a similar story with the same main character, and then like we'll break a few things from the original movie, but that's how you know that like it's a remake and not a, like, you don't need to do a pitch by pitch remake. Just make something that gives you the same feeling that the original gave you, so that you have the same sort of memories with it. It's something that is like, you know what, I'll put on Maleficent on Blu-ray today, or I'll put on Beauty and the Beast circa 2017 today. It's not the hardest thing in the world. It's just that Disney doesn't care. I mean, if you look at Disney's slate this year, you had Dumbo, you got Lion King, Toy Story 4, Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Aladdin, Star Wars, Episode 9. That's all I can think of right now, but that's 7 movies. 7 movies where at least 3 of them were guaranteed to make $1 billion. Not by virtue of them being good. I mean, Avengers Endgame is very good, but by virtue of what they're called. Brand recognition is a large part of how Disney survives these days. You know the name Star Wars, so you're going to see the new Star Wars, except for Solo. You know the name Avengers, so you're going to go see this one. You know the name The Lion King, so you're going to go see this one. They don't expect the vast majority of consumers to know that Disney is a bit of a shady company. But I mean, I guess that's why people like us exist, to tell our followings on the internet these things, and then you all will know. And then you can make your own decisions on whether or not to see the movie. I'm not going to tell you to boycott The Lion King. I'm not going to say hashtag boycott Disney, because I don't hate everything Disney does. Like, as far as the movies that come out, I really enjoyed Avengers Endgame, and I love Toy Story 4. Those are the only Disney movies I've seen this year, but whatever. I'll probably see Star Wars 9, because I just really want it to be good. Every time I record, the X Games start, and I don't know why. But overall, and it's not that I think Disney should never make live action updates of their movies. I think that's an interesting and neat idea, but they shouldn't do it to every movie, especially if they're going to abandon the meaning of some of those movies. Like Mulan. Mulan is coming out next year, and there's no music in it, and Mushu's not there. You're going to take out my favorite character and the music and charm that makes a Disney movie a Disney movie. It's Mulan in name only, I guess. I guess it's supposed to be more like based on the poem than an adaptation of the original film, but still, like. And then are you gonna make a live action version of Frozen at some point, or Tangled, or Strange Magic? I'm sure they won't do Strange Magic. I think I'm the only person that saw that movie, but I don't know. Something's got to give, and I don't think it's going to be Disney, so it's going to have to be us. If you want better quality films, say so. I'm not going to tell you to start a petition, but I mean, just say it somewhere on the internet where it might be seen. Hold on. But that's basically the thing. I'm unhappy with a thing, so I'm speaking about it. I encourage you to do the same thing in general. Like, if a game is bad, say something about it. If a movie's bad, say something about it. Maybe if enough of us make enough noise, we can make a change. And that's kind of what I hope, is that enough people will complain, and it'll hurt Disney's bottom line, and they'll have to make a change. They did it with Star Wars, they did it with Marvel, and they're gonna maybe end up having to do it with their own movies. We'll just have to see. We'll wait, and we'll see. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and I will see you very soon. The world's mine.